Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the biggest what-ifs of the universe. Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and wondered what it would be like if things were just a little different? Well, today we're tackling a huge one. What if the moon, our beautiful silent companion, suddenly split in two? What would happen next? Strap in, because this is going to be a wild ride. First off, how could this even happen? The moon isn't just going to crack like an egg. We'd need a colossal impact, something far larger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. Imagine a rogue dwarf planet, or a massive asteroid on a collision course. The impact would be spectacular and terrifying. Debris would be flung out into space, creating a new, brilliant ring system around the Earth, much more dazzling than Saturn's. From Earth, the initial flash would outshine the sun, and the sound, if you were on the moon, would be, well, let's just say there'd be no one left to hear it. Back on Earth, we wouldn't be safe from the immediate fallout. Some of that debris would inevitably be pulled in by our gravity. We'd experience a meteor shower like no other, lasting for weeks, maybe even months. Most would burn up in the atmosphere, creating a constant, breathtaking light show. But larger pieces would undoubtedly make it through, causing widespread destruction. It would be a global catastrophe, a true test of survival. Now, let's assume humanity weathers that initial storm. What are we left with? Instead of one moon, we now have two. Let's call them Luna A and Luna B. Would they just hang there? Unlikely. Their gravitational relationship would be incredibly complex. They'd either be locked in a chaotic dance, orbiting each other as they both orbit the Earth, or they could drift apart. If their orbits are unstable, one piece might even be flung out of the Earth-Moon system entirely, or worse, sent on a collision course with us. But let's be optimistic and say they settle into stable, separate orbits. How would this change life on Earth? Well, the first thing you'd notice is the night sky. It would be stunningly different. Instead of one bright moon, you might see two, perhaps of different sizes and brightness, chasing each other across the heavens. Imagine two full moons at once, or a crescent moon rising while its twin is setting. The night would be significantly brighter, which would have a huge impact on nocturnal animals. Creatures that rely on darkness to hunt or hide would be in serious trouble. Their entire ecosystem would be thrown into disarray. Think of sea turtles who use the moonlight to navigate to the ocean after hatching. With two moons, they might get confused and head in the wrong direction. But the biggest, most fundamental change would be to our tides. The moon's gravity is the primary driver of Earth's tides. With two moons, things get complicated. If the two lunar chunks are on opposite sides of the Earth, their gravitational pulls could partially cancel each other out, leading to much weaker tides. Coastal ecosystems that depend on the regular ebb and flow of water would be devastated. But what if the two moons line up on the same side of the Earth? Their combined gravity would create super tides, far higher and more powerful than anything we've ever seen. Coastal cities like New York, Shanghai, and London would face constant, catastrophic flooding. Low-lying countries could be wiped off the map entirely. The entire coastline of our planet would have to be redrawn. This tidal chaos would also have a surprising effect on Earth's rotation. The friction from the tides actually slows our planet's spin down, making our days longer over millions of years. With two moons, this process could either speed up or become wildly unpredictable. The length of a day could start to fluctuate. This wouldn't just mess with our clocks, it would disrupt weather patterns on a global scale. The Coriolis effect, which drives the rotation of hurricanes and ocean currents, is tied to the Earth's spin. Changing that could make weather forecasting a nightmare and lead to more extreme and unpredictable storms. And what about the cultural and psychological impact? For all of human history, we've had one moon. It's in our poetry, our religions, our myths, and our science. The word month comes from the moon's cycle. Suddenly, having two would fundamentally change our relationship with the night sky. We'd have new myths, new calendars, new challenges for astronomers. Would we see it as a beautiful new wonder, or a constant, terrifying reminder of the catastrophe that created it? Would stargazing become a source of anxiety, wondering if the two moons' orbits are truly stable? The two moons would likely not be perfect spheres. They'd be jagged, irregular chunks of rock, their scarred surfaces telling the story of their violent birth. Telescopes would reveal entirely new geographies, new craters and new mountains to explore and name. It would ignite a new space race, not just to visit, but to understand these new celestial bodies. We'd want to know if their composition is different, if one holds more resources than the other. The race to mine the moons for precious materials could become the next great geopolitical frontier. Over the very, very long term, say millions of years, the gravitational interactions would continue to shape the destiny of our planet and its two new companions. The tidal forces would continue to push the moons away from Earth, just as our current moon is slowly drifting away. Perhaps one day they would drift so far that their influence wanes, or maybe they would eventually collide again, reforming into a single, smaller moon, surrounded by a permanent ring of dust and rock. So, if the moon split in two, it would be the single most dramatic event in human history. It would begin with a terrifying impact and a rain of fire from the sky. It would then reshape our coastlines, disrupt our ecosystems, alter the very length of our day, and forever change our view of the heavens. It's a powerful reminder of how finely balanced our world is, and how much we depend on that silent, beautiful sphere of rock hanging in our sky. It's a scary thought, but also a fascinating one. It makes you look up at the moon with a whole new sense of appreciation, doesn't it? What do you think would be the most incredible or terrifying part of having two moons? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I love reading your ideas. Thanks so much for joining me on this cosmic journey today. If you enjoyed this what-if scenario, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.